Well, tonight I'm going to be talking about law enforcement, as it pertains to the career field, pay, and job outlook and how you can serve God with it. Now, as a lot of people already know, law enforcement is a controversial profession, and that's mostly because controversial people end up in the role where justice needs to be administered. Now, not only can God be glorified in the profession, but they can make a great career out of it as well. We see this in lots of cases. I personally know a lieutenant in the sheriff's office. His name's Lieutenant Tate. He's a great dude. He actually got shot multiple times, and he lived, and he glorified God through it. There's also lots of other bad officers, who go into that field and, unfortunately, give it a bad name. Now, as Christians, we ultimately desire justice in all matters, and we value servitude in the community. These values that God loves are implemented in this profession every single day. As for the physical side of this conversation, the job market is tough and is a fixed income. The job market is tough. A lot of people have a hard time getting jobs. Applying for jobs because a lot of them also need, a higher education, which not a lot of people have. But this job is very flexible. They hire, fresh people right off the streets. I've seen car wash people actually go into this career field and become a police officer. And as for the income side, it's a median income. It's not, you're not going to be the richest person in the world, but it's definitely going to have you on your feet. Median income being around like $56,000 a year. Now that's according to recent statistics. But yeah, it's a pretty desirable income for most workers, and law enforcement is prevalent in the workforce. It's growing in numbers, ever so slightly, ever since the 2020 instances with George Floyd. So yeah, it has great job security, and it also has lots of retirement benefits as well. Now, I firsthand have seen the values of justice and servitude come to life in the field of law enforcement, because as a Christian, I have sought to implement them as well. I have been in the field for 3 years, and not only do I know how to implement these values, but I also know the quality of the pay and the job security and more. That's what makes me qualified to speak to you in this matter, which is only 3 years, but yeah. Now, the field of law enforcement provides many opportunities for those who are not only looking for good career income and outlook, but also for opportunities to serve God by pursuing justice and serving the community. You see this, for example, just Officer Tate, when you're arresting people, or I work in the jail personally, I spread the gospel to them. Servitude is a value that Jesus commands us to serve one another and to love one another, and we get an opportunity to do this on the career side, through our job. And justice, God loves justice, He's a just God. And there's going to be a judgment day, and He values just judgment. Jesus tells us to judge the righteous judgment. So, you can obviously see that these are two big values that, is in God Himself. He is justice and He is servitude. Let's see. Now, I will validate and prove this by presenting 3 points. Law enforcement and show that law enforcement will always be hiring, and that law enforcement provides great pay, as I previously stated in my statistic, and that you can serve God, which I already kind of touched on. Now, the first major aspect is how law enforcement provides so many opportunities that they're always hiring. The George Floyd incident caused a major recruitment crisis throughout the whole entire nation. Law enforcement agencies are having a hard time recruiting them, due to the unpopular view of law enforcement. A lot of the agencies were defunded and boycotted against, and that's according to a study done by Karch in 2024. Now, you don't need to have a study to know that. It was all over the place. People posting black squares in their little Instagrams. But in response to this, law enforcement agencies are looking for younger recruits amidst this hiring process and changing their hiring strategies to increase employment and recruitment rates, because they can't stay the hard sticklers anymore, because nobody likes a hard cop. And so due to these changes, the field of law enforcement is eager to hire new recruits and will seldom lay workers off, because they need workers to be on the field, especially if they have certifications. If they have certifications, they really don't want to lose the guy. So, pertaining job security, once you're in the field and you get your certifications, it's pretty hard for you to lose your job, and so it's very stable. So yeah, that is currently the way the law enforcement job field is going, and many people can serve God through it, and there would be a lot less controversy around law enforcement if we had more godly people in this field, serving one another, loving one another, and pursuing justice. Now, there will always be a controversy because those who love wickedness are going to hate justice pursuing. Jesus says this, the people of the world, they hate the lightness because it shines in the darkness, so there's always going to be a controversy around it, but, overall, it's a wonderful, great career field, very self-sacrificing, and detrimental to your health. Sometimes you get shot and killed, but that's very rarely. But it's, you do it for the community and for the love of justice. And, the world is a tough place, and you need jobs like this in order to have a stable